South America, the land of majestic mountains, endless jungles, and a history as fiery as its volcanoes. Today, we're diving into the life of one man who reshaped an entire continent, Simón Bolívar. He's the guy who said, "Why free one country when you can free half a continent?" Get ready for a story of ambition, rebellion, betrayal, and triumph. Our story begins in Caracas, Venezuela, in 1783. Simón Bolívar was born into a wealthy Creole family. Bolívar's childhood was anything but smooth. By the time he was 9, both of his parents had passed away, leaving him an orphan. But instead of wallowing in grief, Bolívar threw himself into learning. And thanks to some revolutionary-minded tutors like Simon Rodriguez, he got a crash course in Enlightenment ideas. Rousseau, Voltaire, Locke, they all shaped the young Bolívar's mind. Fast forward to Bolívar's teenage years. Like any wealthy young man, he took the ultimate gap year in Europe. But instead of just sightseeing, Bolívar had some life-changing moments. One moment that stuck with him? Watching Napoleon Bonaparte go from being the defender of liberty to a self-crowned emperor. In 1805, on a hill in Rome, Bolívar made a vow to free South America from Spanish rule. He literally raised his fist to the heavens and declared, "I swear before you, I will not rest until my homeland is free." By 1810, Bolívar was back in Venezuela and things were heating up. Inspired by the American and French revolutions, a movement to overthrow Spanish rule was underway. Venezuela declared independence in 1811, but spoiler alert, it didn't last long. The Spanish weren't about to give up their colonies without a fight. And when the Royalists struck back, Bolívar knew it was time to step up. Bolívar's early military campaigns were, well, let's just call them trial and error. He had some major losses, but every setback made him more determined and more creative. One thing Bolívar was great at? Inspiring people. He wasn't just a general. He was a dreamer with a vision, a united, independent South America. And people were ready to follow him. Let's talk about 1819 and Bolívar's admirable campaign. Imagine crossing the Andes Mountains, on foot, in the freezing cold, with an army. Not only did Bolívar make it, but he launched surprise attacks on Spanish forces in Colombia, securing key victories. By the end of 1819, Bolívar had freed much of modern-day Colombia and Venezuela. And he wasn't stopping there. Bolívar's dream wasn't just to kick out the Spanish. It was to unite South America. In 1821, he established Gran Colombia, a republic that included Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, and Panama. The Spanish still controlled Peru and Upper Peru, modern-day Bolivia, and Bolívar wasn't about to let that slide. In 1824, Bolívar and his trusted lieutenant, Antonio José de Sucre, crushed the Spanish at the Battle of Ayacucho. This was the final blow, officially ending Spanish rule in South America. To honor Bolívar, the newly independent Upper Peru renamed itself Bolivia. And just like that, the Liberator became a living legend. But even legends have their struggles. Bolívar's dream of a united South America started to unravel. Political infighting, regional rivalries, and people just being, well, people made Gran Colombia's stability shaky at best. Bolívar faced assassination attempts, rebellions, and the heartbreak of watching his vision crumble. In 1830, disillusioned and sick with tuberculosis, Bolívar resigned from power. His last words? "If my death contributes to the end of party strife, I will go peacefully." Today, Simón Bolívar is remembered as El Libertador, a man who fought for freedom and unity against impossible odds. His name is everywhere, statues, cities, even an entire country. But his legacy is more than just monuments. Bolívar's story reminds us that freedom isn't just handed over, it's fought for. And while his dream of a united South America didn't last, his ideals of liberty, justice, and equality still inspire people across the continent. Simón Bolívar was a revolutionary, a leader, and, let's face it, a bit of a dreamer. He didn't just fight battles. He fought for a vision of a better world. Thanks for joining me on this journey through history. If you love this story, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves a good underdog tale.